Welcome to our Insight series on organizational well-being. Our question for this week is, what are other key aspects of evaluating your employee wellness program? Number 36. In answering the question, what are other key aspects of evaluating your employee wellness program? Last week we covered the issue of summation of your goal, objective, and metric evaluations. And those are individualized to the goals that you have for your program. And we went through that and discussed what that looks like in terms of examples. So that's where you want to start. Secondly, you want to collect participant head counts for all wellness program activities. And that includes a lot of the visits to various sites, participation in programs, and views of online information sources, or what are called e-health portals, and their use. If these various counts can eliminate all duplicates, then you can usually determine the percentage of the eligible population that are participating in one or more of your employee wellness program activities. An easier approach to this same statistic, which is an important statistic or metric, is to define participation as completing an annual HRA, a health risk assessment, and or screening activity, and participating in screening activity, and use that as your measure of overall program participation. It's usually a good measure for us to know how intensive was the programming effort that reached the population, what percent of the population actually participated in your program. The third point related to this key aspect of evaluation that we want to add to our initial goal-based evaluation that we discussed last week is to use an end-of-session evaluation survey on satisfaction with each program activity, with a question that contains a numerical measure of satisfaction. For example, if you included a question on the end of session evaluation form that you passed out to all participants that had a question that essentially said, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 equals very dissatisfied and 10 equals extremely satisfied, please indicate how satisfied you are with this particular wellness program activity. These quantitative measures can be averaged and added together to provide a very clear picture of the level of satisfaction with your individual program activities that your employees are experiencing. This measure can also be linked to an objective that you might have for one of your goals to maintain a minimum average level of satisfaction for the entire program, such as an average score of at least 8.0 if you're using that 10-point scale. The fourth key aspect would be the use of selected economic metrics on the workforce and comparison of those to baseline periods. And the baseline period is really before you start any wellness programming. This can include sick leave, health plan claims costs, workers' compensation claims, disability claims, and presenteeism losses. All of these have economic implications for your organization. It's what we call the economics of worker health. Analyses can include participants only or comparison of participants with non-participants. Both of those are appropriate evaluation strategies. This evaluation component is necessary if you want to try and derive the return on investment, the ROI, for your wellness program. The fifth aspect would be using an annual program evaluation survey. That's a survey device that can either be in paper form or can be automated and used on a web or an online source of device. And that asks a series of questions on both the return on investment issues and the value on investment issues questions. We call that VOI and ROI. These work best when using a random and representative sample of your population and your user population. The same questions should be used consistently over time, and the survey process should be conducted in a similar way each year. That's where we get the consistency of looking at the same kind of evaluation data as we then see the trend lines that your program is producing. The sixth and last issue is a portion of your evaluation should be formative, meaning that the evaluation results should help you design a better program for the next cycle. But the majority of the evaluation activity will be used for comparative purposes. Comparative evaluation is juxtaposed to formative evaluation. It's where we are essentially comparing to either a known standard or another point of reference. This may include interviews with key personnel to determine how the program should be changed for the next program annual cycle. And that's really a formative kind of evaluation. But the interviews are often a good thing to do to be able to ask people, how should we improve the program for this next cycle of programming? So in summary, the evaluation of your program's goals, objectives, and metrics, which we looked at last week, can be summarized and then used with other key aspects of evaluation of your employee wellness program. And we've gone through essentially identifying 5 additional kinds of activities that you could do for evaluation of your program. This kind of a program evaluation, including these various elements highlighted in yellow, really can also improve the funding of your program and increase the amount of managerial and senior management support for your employee wellness efforts. Now, for more information on this topic, try putting the following search strings into your web browser: evaluation activities for employee wellness programs, evaluation of employee wellness programs, program evaluation. So all any three of those should in fact give you some more insights and ideas about this particular area. Next week, we will address the question, how can you assure that your employee wellness program will produce long-term health behavior change? And for more information on this topic, please search on the web for the WellCert program.